everybody! Today I want to show you how to take a photo with a background like this and turn it into this. I posted this background extension on my Instagram stories and I got a lot of requests for a tutorial. I'm not a professional or expert by any means, but this is just something I've learned from my years and years of tinkering around with Photoshop and taking my own cosplay photos. I think this is a pretty easy to learn skill and it doesn't take an expert to know how to do it, so I thought I would make a little video for you guys. I don't have a script for this video, so this is me just speaking naturally and showing you how to make these edits live. Again, here's the before and the after. So, if you know how to use the clone tool, it's more or less easy to just kind of extend the background like this, but it's not going to look super natural to do it like this. You're going to see a lot of repeating patterns in the textures. Luckily, there is a way to quote-unquote randomize it a little bit, and Photoshop will do most of the work for you. So I'm going to take my rectangular marquee tool, select this area right here, and I'm going to right click and do Content Aware Fill. Or you can go to Edit and Content Aware Fill. So you can see the preview on the side here. Let me make it bigger for you. Not super realistic or natural at all, and that's because it's taking into consideration some of this unrelated material in the background. So I'm just going to deselect some of that. And you can see on the right hand side here, it's evolving as I take away material. I'm going to take away some of this too. None of this is really relevant. I really only wanted to consider this piece over here. So this looks okay. We could work with it. Let me see if I can add a little bit more here. I think I like that. That looks good. Adding some of this foreground texture, I think, randomizes it a little bit. All right, so I have an output to current layer. I'm gonna just do new layer and apply. Okay. And the reason I did that is actually because I forgot to duplicate this. So we want to duplicate this layer. I'm just going to close the before, and then you can go ahead and just merge this. Okay. So now you've got a little bit more to work with, and don't worry about this bottom part here. I'm going to just start at the top. So I'm going to start with just very simple. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this tool, the spot healing brush tool. And I'm going to just start taking away some of these lines we don't want here. And you want to be aware of the pattern in the background. You can see these lines are staggered. This pattern is staggered, and you obviously just want to use your common sense to align with that pattern. This looks okay. So now I'm going to want to extend these lines over here. And you can do that with the clone tool, but again, it's not really going to look natural. You want to make it a little random, more natural. So I'm actually going to use the patch tool. I'm going to select this bit over here that's a little further away to make it seem more random. You want to make sure that it is on normal mode and destination. And I'm just gonna move this over, just like that. And maybe a little bit of this, and just kind of move it over. Boom, just like that. But you can see this little imperfection here is kind of repeating, and we don't want that. And you can minimize that with the clone tool. You can use the spot healing tool a little too if you want. I'm just going to reduce it a little bit, kind of randomize it. You can even just do that. There, that looks pretty natural. You can also see up here that the content aware fill repeated some of these imperfections, and you can use the patch tool, clone tool, or spot healing tool. I'm going to go with the spot healing tool to kind of remove some of those randomly so that it doesn't look too much of the same. Same thing, you're gonna want to go in with the patch tool because there's this weird spot over here. I don't like that. I'm gonna just take a spot over here and boom. And what the patch tool does, which you might have noticed by now, is it matches the color and shading of the destination. It will not take the shading and color of the source. So it looks very natural when you do it that way. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And you're just going to continue to do this. And you can kind of alternate to make it a little bit more random between the patch tool and the clone tool. I missed this line over here when I was taking it out last time. And again, you just want to kind of use the spot healing tool wherever necessary to clean things up. So already this part of your background is pretty much done. It looks pretty natural, and you can just kind of move on from there and continue doing the same steps until you get to that bottom part over there. So here you can see the content aware tool did create a line over here, but it's above where you want it to be compared to the real wall over here. So you can just use the clone tool to copy it down. Boom, and then use the clone tool again to erase. And then to fix this little blob here, I can go back to the patch tool settings, go back to source instead of destination, and just scoot it over like that. There you go, that looks pretty good. So that's most of the wall, pretty fast of a fix. Down here is going to be a little bit more complicated. And I'm not going to worry about the pattern on the walls. I'm going to just start using the clone tool to fill in all this dark gray. And I'm just going to use a pretty large brush, and you can select from kind of anywhere. I'm just going to select from over here and start painting that texture in. And you want to kind of switch up your source every now and then, switch up where you're taking it from. So now all there's left to do is deal with this line over here. It's not where you want it to be. I think it needs to be a little higher. So I'm just going to use the patch tool again, and in the destination mode, not the source mode. Oops. Just move it up. I think it looks good right about there. That looks good. Then I can just go back to the spot healing tool, take that away. And once again, you want to go back to destination patch tool. Pick up some of this stuff over here and start moving it on over. And when you get this close, you can just use the clone tool. That's pretty much it. Now what I would do is maybe just kind of go in with the spot healing tool and just, I don't know, take away any distracting textures I don't like. I really like how this metal structure in the back is framing my head, but this bolt over here is a little distracting, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. I think that looks great. That looks very, very natural. This is the new version of this background I've done with you guys. After, before. After, before. Really natural. Anyway, I hope that you've learned something new about Photoshop from this tutorial. And whether you are a cosplayer that takes their own photos, a cosplay photographer, or any kind of portrait photographer, I hope that this skill can help you produce photos that are better in tight spaces or have less than ideal backgrounds. And once again, here's the before, what we started with, and here's the after. If you like this tutorial and you want to see more Photoshop content like this, let me know in the comments. Give me a like and a subscribe, and have a great day. I'll see you all next time.